All right. It's 6:02. We kind of have a full agenda, so I think we'll kind of get started. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to start off tonight with Jody Meyer. She's going to go through the key woman process. Does that sound right? Procedure.
Sure.
So,
Nominating someone for key
there you
women.
go.
Are you ready for me?
You go for it.
Okay, sounds good. Like Shirley said, I'm Jody Meyer, and I'm here to talk to you about the Key Women Club, nominating someone for Key Women. And I'll talk a little bit about the history, who is eligible to be nominated for the award, how chapter support ties into that. And then we'll spend probably most of the time of me giving you, as you can see on the screen, some tips for submitting a Key Woman nomination. So history, the Key Women Club or the Key Women organization was started in 1975. So we're in the 50th year of the Key Women this year. And it was started as an avenue for chapters to recognize truly outstanding members of their chapter. And it is the highest award that a woman can receive in Minnesota Women of Today. If you've been at convention when they've been awarded, you will hear I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me, but a member cannot seek out the award. The award seeks out the recipient, which every time I hear that, it makes me think they were kind of Harry Potterish, right? You know, the wand seeks the wizard, and the award seeks the key woman. And I think you'll find that's true as you look at people that receive it. They're not doing what they do to receive an award. They're doing it to make their communities better, to grow as an individual. So it is truly something that the recipient really does not seek out. So who is eligible if you were thinking about submitting someone as a Key Woman nominee? There's really three different things that need to happen. The first is that the nominee needs to have served as a chapter, district, or state officer for at least 2 years. And I especially want to comment on that because can you back up to the beginning there, Tanya? Because I haven't gone into that stuff yet. Just keep me on the main screen for right now.
Yep.
If you are at convention and watching Key Women being awarded, it's very likely that you would get the sense that people that are receiving the award need to be active on the state level. And I want to just make it clear tonight that that is not true. Women that participate on the state level are more than likely very eligible for the award, but there are many key women that have not pursued activity outside of the local chapter. Some have done activities in the local chapter in their district, but never on the state level. So keep that in mind, kind of think outside of the box when you're thinking of women that are worthy of receiving this award. Don't think of it just as a state level award. So first thing, they have to be an officer for 2 years. Second is that they need to be nominated by their chapter and then approved. I'm going to back up. Second thing, they need to be a member for 4 years of Minnesota Women of Today. That could be in multiple chapters, but just in the organization as a whole for 4 years. And lastly, they need to be nominated by their chapter. And there's lots of awards in Minnesota Women of Today where you as an individual can nominate someone else. I could call President Shirley up and say, I think so-and-so is really deserving of receiving a presidential pin. I could fill out the form. It's not the case for Key Women. It needs to come from the chapter level. So if you have someone in your chapter that you think is worthy, you would need to approach the chapter to do that. And that's a tricky situation because you need to approach your chapter, but you also cannot let the person know that you're nominating them. So my recommendation on that is to take it to the board level. It's a smaller group of people that are kind of in the know. There's a $50 fee to submit the nomination, and typically the chapter bylaws the district, your chapter board has the authority to make an expenditure like that. So it could get approved on the board level, but the fewer people that know about it initially, the better. And why would that be? um, I'm assuming most of you have been to a convention where it's awarded. It's something that a recipient does not seek out, and the surprise element of it is fun and exciting. So that's one reason that you kind of want to keep it on the down low. But the other reason, which is a really important reason, is it is possible and does happen that your nomination is not accepted. So if the person you're nominating gets wind of it and then it doesn't happen, it's just awkward for everybody involved as to why that is. So if you're going to nominate someone, keep it on the down low. You might ask, why would it not get accepted? If you're taking the time to nominate somebody that you think is worthy, why would it not be accepted? And almost all the time, the reason it's not accepted is because the application that you submit is not detailed enough. So the Key Woman president, hello to you, Kathy. I noticed that you're logged on tonight. She would give you feedback and tell you which parts of the application kind of need to be beefed up, and you're encouraged to resubmit it. So it's not that we're telling you no to that candidate, it's that we need more information to make that happen. So if you are going to do this, let's kind of talk through some tips for how to do that Key Woman form. And I don't have a copy of the form, but it's a 4-page form. It can be kind of intimidating if you're just kind of taking it on. So we'll slip to the next slide, Tanya. Thank you. It'll ask you a lot of questions about what your nominee has done, what positions they've served in, that kind of thing. Whenever it is possible, give the judges dates. It helps a lot as we're reading these entries to kind of create a visual timeline of what that nominee has done. So if you have that information, it is helpful to give dates. Sometimes you don't have that, and I'd encourage you to reach out. I hate to throw Tanya under the bus, but my guess is that for state positions and things, she probably has plan of actions in the Chapter Service Center, could maybe look some things up for you. You can draw her into your confidential bubble, and I'm sure that she would be happy to do that. Some of the questions ask you how many meetings they've attended. You can estimate. Especially if someone has been a member for like 15 years, it's probably not realistic that you're going to know exactly what they've attended. So those are 2 tips on the beginning of the form. Give dates, go ahead and use percentages. Next screen.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
So I'm just wondering if you're writing down the amount of, if they've been a member for 15 years and you don't know the amount of meetings they've been to, why is that important? Just wondering why that's
it's important to show that they are being supportive of the chapter. So for example, if they've been a member for 15 years and they were officers maybe the first 5 years, are they still showing up and being supportive of the chapter?
So it's more about the general meetings then?
Right. You'll see on the form for the chapter level, there's a line for general meetings and a line for board meetings.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. And then the same on the district and state level. So good question.
Thank you.
When you get to the parts, I'm just referencing the question numbers in case you go through this later with the form in front of you. Questions 3 and 7 really ask about what did they do in the chapter and the district. We don't want to know that they supplied coffee at a meeting. We don't want to know that they we want to know the big things that they did. What has made an impact on your chapter? So I've just listed a few bullet points there. There's more. Every chapter is different, but think about the big picture. Have they brought any new projects to the chapter that have been successful, and tell us a little bit about them? Do you have a huge project, like a lot of chapters have craft shows? Are they consistently participating on them, either on a committee or showing up to help? Think outside of programming. Are they a master recruiter? Are they bringing in a lot of members consistently over the years? So those are the types of things that the judges want to see, not that they are, every year they donate things to the garage sale. Big stuff. All right, Tanya. Okay, the other thing judges see in the nomination forms is, amongst ourselves we call them excuses, but I don't really. That's a little flippant. When there's a question, and I'm going to use National Convention as an example because a lot of people do not attend national conventions. It's not a bad thing. It's just a fact. So we sometimes get nominations that tell it, when it says how many conventions have they attended, we see they can't go to conventions because they work full time and they have a job and it's just not enough time. And that's very well maybe true, but that kind of puts the judge in a negative light on your entry because you're kind of saying we don't have time for that. So just stay away from the negative, and just in that question, I would just say they haven't attended any. And that's very common on Key Women applications, that national conventions haven't been attended. So just frame everything on your entry positive and factual. No meetings attended to date, if that's the case. And don't feel guilty about that. Next one, Tanya. There's a question on the form that asks about their unique and lasting contributions to the chapter. And again, I might sound flippant when I say this, but we know that your nominee is a happy person and she's a friend to everyone, and she would give the shirt off her back to help everyone else. That's not a reason to give your member a Key Woman award. So try to not be emotional about it, but give us facts rather than kind of those platitudes of why they're a good person. One way that it's easier to do that, because we're kind of trained as a society when we write in paragraph form to make it read well. So I would consider when you do this application that you do it in a bulleted format, because that's going to help you stay away from trying to dress it up with information that is, I'm sure, totally true, but not necessarily applicable. So here are just some things. There are more that could be occurring in your chapter, but are they a major recruiter? Have they been instrumental in your chapter partnering with other organizations in your community? Are they incredibly effective at fundraising for your chapter? Do they mentor new members? Do they, if they are a seasoned member, do they consistently offer to train new members? And again, planning committees of major projects. So we're not looking for personality characteristics of the nominee. We're looking for what they've done. And that helps the judges work through it a little bit more. All right, next slide, Tanya. Okay, then there's the question about their unique and lasting contributions to district and state. And these are harder because a lot of members do most of their work in the chapter. So how do you answer those questions? Again, being honest and factual and not emotional. if your nominee was an officer, if they were district director, a state program manager, pull things from their years of service. And again, the chapter service center might be an avenue. And while Tanya might not have specifics, she might know a name of someone that you could contact to find out about what happened the year that your nominee was state program manager, for instance. But if not, think outside the box on things that they could be doing on the district and state level. So do they participate by attending district meetings and encouraging others to join them? So that is doing a contribution, because they are encouraging people to go to the district and state meetings and ensuring that attendance is encouraged on your chapter level. So just a few things there. Completing certifications is a way of supporting state programming, participating in competitions. So if you, it's okay to say they haven't participated, but chances are they have participated in some way, even though it's not an obvious way. Next screen, please. Questions 17 and 18 are the final ones on your application, and I will tell you that those are the two questions that the judges spend the most time on. So take the time to really flesh those out. So the first one asks how they have utilized opportunities for involvement and personal growth. And again, that varies, but give us facts of how that's happened. So have you seen an increased confidence in themselves due to their involvement in Women of Today? Are they a more effective speaker than they were when they joined? Do they always work on improving themselves through certifications, personal enrichment opportunities? Do they stretch themselves by trying new positions? Have they become less of a participant and more of a leader in your chapter? Have they gained new conflict management skills? There's so many other things you could talk about, but it really depends on your nominee and the types of things that you see in that person. And then in the final summary, you're just asked to give a final summary, and I give you permission to get a little flowery there. Write that one in paragraph form. That is probably the part, if you have seen a Key Woman award being presented, it usually ends with her chapter states that Shirley always has a smile on her face and it's a delight to be around. And that's usually the paragraph. Oh, Shirley, you are. But that's usually the paragraph where we get that information from. So I give you permission. On the others, kind of bullet them, give us facts, but in the final summary, it's okay to get a little emotional on us. So next slide. Utilize a good writer. Completing this form requires a lot of detail and a good turn of phrase, if you will. So just because it might be your idea to nominate someone doesn't mean if you don't feel comfortable with being the one writing up the form that you have to do it. You can work with somebody who can wordsmith it and make it flow a little bit better. So don't feel bad about doing that in that situation. Next one, Tanya. Letters of recommendation. You need to have 3 letters of recommendation. The first one needs to come from your chapter as a chapter support letter. Most of them come from the chapter president, but again, if that person's not comfortable with the written word as much, she might want to delegate that, and that's totally okay. It just needs to be written on behalf of your chapter. The other 2 need to come from individuals that have supervised this individual. So if they've been chapter president, it could be the district director when they were chapter president. If they were a state program manager, it could be the state programming VP, et cetera. Could be someone who was supervised by that person. And one of them has to be from a Key Woman. So that can be a little daunting to know who those letters should come from. And again, that's a place where the chapter service center might be of some help to tell you who has been in that role for that person. If you, they can probably, Tanya can probably also tell you who is a key woman in that listing that she goes through too, so that you've covered all of those bases. Next screen. And this is my last tip to you. Unless you have written one of these and submitted them before, I would highly encourage you to have somebody outside of your chapter in your confidential bubble again to review it. Just because within the chapter, you know this person is deserving of the award, and it's easy to miss something, and to give it to a set of eyes that really doesn't know the person as well as you can only help you. They can point out things that you may have missed in the written application. So that's all I have, but I'm happy to take questions, comments. Everyone's muted, so it's very quiet.
It's a quiet group, Jody.
I would suggest using AI to help write it.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I would suggest trying to use a little bit of AI to write it.
As long as you check it afterwards. AI is good for some things, but it does help with the wordsmithing. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Sometimes AI makes up things though, so
Yeah, you
double check it after AI.
You have
right?
to be careful.
And sometimes the person doesn't get it after just 4 or 5 years. Sometimes it's been like Cindy Goldbluff was 26 years and she just got it. And those
Right.
are, I mean, that's kind of neat too. So,
And often some of that comes from the fact that it does have to be a chapter nomination. And some chapters, I think the form intimidates them. I had a friend who I thought really, really deserved to be nominated, but I couldn't do that because she was not in my chapter, but she had served our district for years and years. And I contacted her chapter and suggested it, said I would help them. And it honestly took me 4 years of different people until finally, if you really feel that there's someone outside of your chapter that you think should be nominated, you work with that chapter. And finally I found the right person in their chapter that wasn't intimidated by the form and took that on. So anything else?
As Key Women president, I do set a deadline. The reason we set that deadline, and I like to stay with that deadline, is because I have to look for judges, and they need the time to look over the applications that are sent out. And then once I get them back from them, they have to go to an individual who actually does the write-ups. So there is a process of doing it. And that's why when a deadline is a deadline, I like to stick to that, because of the fact is then we have to order the plaques and we have to order the name tags. And once he gets the gentleman that does it for us, he's down in the cities, which is about an hour and a half away from me to go pick them up. But it also gives him that time to get it together. And then if there's anything that's a misprint or something, hopefully, I mean, that's never happened, but it's really crucial. And not only that is for the person or the chapter who is nominating someone to allow the family that time also, so they can let the family know and everything. So there is quite a process that actually goes into it once it gets in my hands and gets to the final right up to the final day. So there is a reason why we we do ask for them as early as we do, and we want to stick with that deadline. Otherwise, it just kind of screws up the whole timeline and everything like that. So that's kind of something where we've been really working on here the last 2 years. So that really helps us.
Good points. The other thing I'll mention, since this outside review screen is up, and then I'll quit, Shirley, so you can get going to your next topic too.
You're fine.
Another reason to really consider this outside review is, as judges, when we receive these write-ups, we are told that we should be judging them off of the write-up. So I'm going to use Shirley as an example again, because I've been using her for other things tonight. But if Shirley's chapter nominated her, they already have, but we'll pretend she hasn't. And in their write-up, they forget to put that she's state president and that were you AVP last year, Shirley?
The MVP, yeah.
The MVP.
It's
So
okay.
they forget to put that information. As a judge, I may know, oh gosh, they've neglected to put this stuff in, but I can't take that into account. I need to go based on the write-up. So really just encourage you to maybe have a second set of eyes on it before you submit it, because it's easy to forget something that's kind of important. So
Jody, when you say a second set of eyes, are you going like with somebody who has already been a key woman, or?
yeah, I
Or-
would do that, because they someone who's already a key woman does know the confidentiality of it.
Sure, yeah.
I'm always happy to look at them. I would say probably not the key woman president, who's Kathy this year, just because that kind of keeps her out of, she's kind of in that judging loop type of thing. But yes, I would say probably a key woman. And if you know of someone who's been a key woman judge, that's even better, because they can tell you specifically what they would be looking for. So,
And I can't write letters, correct?
I believe you can write a letter. There's nothing against that. Yeah, you may. Are you just making the peace sign, Cindy, or did you have a?
I believe you can.
Yeah,
There's
there's
no-
nothing
There was a
stating.
couple years afterwards that the state president couldn't write letters.
Well, it's not written anywhere.
Mhm.
No, I could look over at the bylaws of the key woman, but
I
I
I
don't
don't
think
know
there's
of
anything
anything
in
about
there.
that.
No, I think we're okay.
All right. Well, that's all I have about key women.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jody.
You are welcome.
Thank you, Jody.
So our next session or next part, the next half hour we're going to spend on programming. Sue and I is Sue on here? Yeah. Sue and I are going to kind of, I don't know, we're going to try. We're the substitutes because there was someone else who was going to do it and then they couldn't do it. So you want to start or you want me to?
Please go ahead and get started, Shirley.
Okay. So the Minnesota Women on Today supports 5 programming areas: community connections, the living and learning, priority area, women's wellness, and youth of today. Tonight we will review each area and explore the various opportunities available to local chapters within those areas. Throughout the year, information will be mailed to your chapter sharing programming updates and support. There is value in sharing these emails with your chapter members. You will also find tools to support local programming along with fun challenges and more in the chapter information packets, which are published once a trimester. They can be found on the Minnesota Women of Today website. Before we get into each programming area, it is important to note that each chapter defines which local projects go in each area, as some projects may fall into more than one category. You can flip the slide, Tanya, please. So we're going to start off with living and learning. So the official description of the living and learning programming area was developed to encourage a member's personal growth, mentally, spiritually, civically, and through family. Highlights include promoting the living and learning certification, promoting personal enrichment programs, sometimes called PEP courses, organizing fellowship services, invocations, and benedictions, and encouraging U.S. Women of Today certifications and competitions in the area of wellness and personal development. Self-improvement, such as suggested courses or books, career development topics, financial management, writing and speaking opportunities, civic growth, such as when and where to vote, recycling, environment, American history, or related topics. Spiritual growth, such as books or classes on religion or spirituality, meditation, reflections. Growth through family and friends, such as sharing family traditions, family relationship dynamics, recording family history, genealogy. The Living and Learning programming areas are only internal focus programming area. This means that within this area, there are no fundraisers or projects that support external functions. The purpose is solely to support our members' growth. The Minnesota Women of Today Living and Learning SPM also shares information and tools promoted by the U.S. Women of Today Wellness and Personal Development Program Manager.
Some of the slide, Tanya.
Oh, no, not quite.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Local opportunities. So that would include doing invocations or a benediction at your meetings, personal enrichment programs in your chapters or PEP courses, report results of events and activities at general meetings, yearly living and learning certifications, wellness and personal development certifications, and then writing competitions. There are also SPM challenges. And you can nominate, and of course, you can nominate a project of the trimester or a local program manager of the trimester, which is very important too. When reporting for this area, the local program manager may accrue service hours from their volunteer time spent setting up events and opportunities for members. However, no donations are made or other volunteer opportunities exist within this area to report.
Do you want me to take over now, Shirley?
You go.
Break?
Go for it.
All right. All right, so the next area is the priority area. The priority area began in 2003 and changes every 3 years. The current 2024 to 2027 area is REACH. This area encourages members to come together and support a statewide organization in need. The idea is to raise awareness, supplies, and funds for our chosen organization. Together we do more. The past priority area organizations have been the Girl Scouts, Jacob Wetterling Foundation, Can Do Canines, the Isaac's Journey Foundation, Breaking Free, Wishes and More, and Crescent Grove. We are currently in our second year of supporting REACH. During the first year of a program, we spent extra time on education and awareness. During the second year, we focus on support. The third year is spending making lifelong connections and working with the local chapters directly involved to continue with support after the priority area changes. So what does this mean for your chapter? If there is a REACH program in your area, focus on connecting, making connections and support. If there is a need for a REACH program in your area, work with the state program manager and your local schools to create one. For those who do not fit in either one of those categories, consider supporting the state program manager's statewide promotions. So behind the scenes, MNWT is already working on finding our next priority area. So if you have a suggestion, please reach out to me, since I'm the PVP this year, and work with me to help get an application submitted. At annual convention of 2026, we will have 3 potential organizations that we are going to announce. And then at Fall State 2026, we will vote and select that next priority area. So currently we are seeking suggestions. So if you have an idea, please reach out to me. And if you don't know how to find me, then reach out to someone else so we can get working on finding our next priority area.
You can email her, Sue, at pvp@mnwt.org.
Thank you for that commercial.
Okay. The next slide. The description for the women's wellness programming area focuses on providing women's health education through traditional and holistic practices, as well as balanced lifestyles. This area encourages women to become more involved with their health and well-being, promotes health education by providing challenges to chapter members, encouraging participation with the added benefit of feeling better, participate in walks, and supports organizations that benefit women's health issues like March of Dimes and breast cancer research, and educates women that domestic violence is a health issue, and reminds our membership that there are still numerous people, children and families, friends, their communities their communities that are impacted by domestic violence. This area supports the Outstanding Women Who Impact program. Different from Living and Learning, which focuses on a member's personal and spiritual growth, the women's wellness area focuses on not only members' physical well-being, but organizations that support women. Our Minnesota Women of Today Women's Wellness SPM supports and promotes the USW, the United States Domestic Violence Awareness DVA area. We recognize that DVA affects all ages and genders. Your chapter may have DVA projects that do not fall under the women's wellness area, and that is okay. All right, Sue.
So you want me to move on to Youth of Today then?
Go for it.
All right. So the Youth of Today programming area promotes ideas and activities that allow youth to discover and experience the importance of volunteering, and also promotes and supports foundations related to youth activities. Major emphasis in this area is Kids Week, held in August, and the Outstanding Young Adult Award, held annually at Winter State, where young people are honored for their contributions to the community, and scholarships are awarded by the Minnesota Women of Today. Youth of Today is more than supporting youth organizations and programs. One of the most important things you can do as a chapter under this area is develop ways for young people to volunteer and become more involved in supporting their communities. So how can you find local opportunities? Invite your youth to volunteer or work with the youth in an organization. Fundraise and work on projects that support the organization. Report results of fundraisers and projects at general meetings. Look for SPM challenges. Nominate a young adult candidate. The outstanding young adult candidate. And then nominate a project of the trimester or a local program manager for the project for the trimester award.
So the fifth area would be community connections. So the community connections programming area was developed to assist and encourage Minnesota Women of Today chapters to become significantly involved in their local communities, resulting in community connections, increased recognition of a chapter's joint ventures with local community organizations, and highlight the following areas: promoting a community-focused area of the SPM's choosing, and honoring chapters who have established community connections awarded at the Minnesota Women of Today Annual Convention. The easiest way to define community connections is as a catch-all. If it doesn't fit into one of the categories that we've already talked about, it falls under community connections. A majority of our projects and activities will fall into this area. So some of the local opportunities are civic or patriotic readings at meetings, fundraisers and projects that support your community, report results of fundraisers and projects at general meetings, SPM challenges, nominate a person with determination candidate, nominate a community connection awards, projects, civic, environmental, community impact, and joint ventures, third trimester, and of course, nominate a project of the trimester or a local program manager of the trimester. So all 5 of the areas, you have the opportunity each trimester to nominate a project of the trimester. When we say local program manager of the trimester, not all chapters have local program managers, and that's okay. but you have chairs of different projects. So it's okay to nominate somebody who chairs a project for the local program manager. Because in reality, they're being a program manager as they're chairing that particular project.
I like to refer to it as the local programming member. Think of it as a member, not a manager. So even an outstanding member who is doing something great in this programming area should be nominated.
Does anybody have any questions on the 5 programming areas? Quiet group. You want to continue, Sue?
I sure will. So support and recognition can be done in several ways. So look at the state program managers, look and see what they have for challenges in their CIPs. The Living and Learning certification is offered to all members. Completing this certification supports your individual growth and personal well-being. Every member is encouraged to complete this certification yearly. Each trimester, an outstanding program manager and project of the trimester are recognized at in each area at convention. Anyone can submit a nomination for these trimester awards. And I would just like to throw in a plug that even though they are due at the end of the trimester, if you have just completed a project at any point in time during the trimester, go in and make your nomination right away. I mean, because it's fresh in your memory, the work you put into it, what all happened, the hours, the funds, how many members worked. So while it's fresh in your memory, go get that nomination in under the webpage. And each year, MNWT recognizes chapters for their contributions to their local communities. The Civic and Environmental Award, a project that civically improves your town or city, promotes citizenship in your community, or improves the environment in your community. Those awards are awarded in the 3rd trimester. So you want to always make sure that you are recalling what you have done so you can make that nomination. And I believe you can also make that submission at any point in time in the year, but the award is given out in the 3rd trimester. The Community Impact Award, a chapter project with a lasting impact in your community. The Joint Venture Award, and a project that successfully collaborates with another organization. So chapters are encouraged to nominate these projects for awards. Okay. So as a chapter, don't wait to receive an award to recognize your members or your projects. Include the information from nominations sent into MNWT in your local newsletter and share them at general meetings. So a final note on sharing your programming results with MNWT. The value of completing your trimester programming reports. It's how we know anything about what your local chapter is doing. Everything your chapter does is for community. It's for members and in collaboration with other organizations. It's all part of programming. You may not have the same programming areas as the MNWT, and that's okay. Your programming counts. What you do within your own community is extremely valuable. By completing your chapter's report and sending it in to MNWT, you are including your chapter in the official MNWT programming totals. The more information we have, the better we can serve you, promote your local community, and recognize your members. As an added bonus, when you report to MNWT, we turn that around and report the information to the USWT. The 2 reports and double the recognition in 1. The official report can be found on the MNWT website. You can also email your totals for each area at the end of the trimester to PVP. Include total service hours, monetary, and in-kind donations for each area. It's really easy to do that. And we are excited to show you guys a brand new Excel spreadsheet that we think is going to be very helpful to chapters to keep track of these programming hours, in-kind donations. And we're hoping it makes it easier for everybody down the line. So I'm excited to say that previous PVPs developed this. It kind of was in the background, and now we want to share it because we think it's a very valuable tool. So it's going to be on the web page, and you can find it. You can download the Excel spreadsheet and save it in your own chapter and use it for recording. So may we get that new Excel spreadsheet up there?
Yep, give me 1 second.
So the idea of the spreadsheet too, you download it, and then as you go, like if you did a project yesterday, put the information in. Then next week you do another one, you put the information in. It will calculate for you by programming area. And there are 5 tabs on the bottom. There's the first one is just kind of a definition of the programming areas. The second one kind of helps you with what is a service hour. And then there's 3 tabs, one for each trimester.
So basically what we just kind of recap for you is the definitions. That's in tab 1, programming areas, to help give you a definition of what each area is. It's just a recap. Okay. Tab number 2 is the definition of what counts as service hours. How do you track them? How do you figure them? It's just background information. But when you get to tab 2, 3, 4, and 5, which track the trimesters, here's where you can just put everything in. And if you find that this is going to be easier for you, this is kind of a trial this year. Maybe send this to PVP, and then this can be used for some of your recordings. But there is math in the tabs, in the columns. So when you enter some of those things, they'll start totaling up. We're just trying to make it easier for everybody.
Tracy asked if it could be emailed. It can be emailed. It can also be downloaded, but Sue, you can email that out too if you want.
Yes, I certainly can email it out. If you would just send me a little email, or even record it in the chat if you want it emailed to you. Of course, I'll need your personal email or your chapter email, whichever way you want it, and we will get it sent to you.
I just want to say that this is a program that Shirley sent me, and my husband did the work to make it add everything up for me. And our child has been using it for several years now, and it really is helpful.
Yeah, I know. I just saw it for the first time this just a few months ago, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Shirley, this is amazing! We need to share it with everybody." Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was Shirley that built this when she was PVP.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions in regards to programming, or?
It's very similar to the one they use on National for the Community Connections report.
Okay. It makes it easier for the PVP for Sue as well, because she can record then by chapter each of the different areas as well. So when she puts her spreadsheet together, so
yeah.
And for the and if I just want to remind everybody that if you are a Facebook user, we strongly encourage you to follow the MNWT programming Facebook group. Each day of the week, almost 7 days a week, you are going to get one post per day, And each area of programming posts on specific days of the week. So starts off with community connections on Mondays, living and learning on Tuesdays, priority area on Wednesdays, and then women's wellness on Thursdays, youth of today on Fridays. And then on Saturday, I make a post personally about programming. And then every Sunday, in keeping with Shirley's theme, I'm giving you a suggestion for a random act of kindness, just to give you something to think about, maybe you can accomplish during the week.
Okay, any questions? Anybody have any questions or any comments? Or anything they need help with, or?
I looked at the new programming report and it looks slick. From a user's point of view, it really looks slick. So thank you for whoever, all the people who brought it to us. Thank you very, very much.
What is the Facebook page again?
MNWT programming.
Tanya, can you go back to that last slide?
Yep.
I think it's.
One second. Let me share it again. Let me get to it.
I think Andrea just shared it in the chat in case you want to jump over to chat for those who want to see that.
Yeah, I think it's member resources and then programming, I believe. Yeah, so you go to the member homepage and then click on programming resources, and then it says new. We called it new, so you knew what the difference was. So
yep, this is to get the programming Excel sheet. I'm sorry, I think I misunderstood. I thought she was asking for the Facebook group. I apologize, but that's what I was trying to explain.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Somebody did ask for the Facebook group, so don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. If nobody has any other questions, we are going to turn this over to Andrea Shuey, and she's going to talk about membership.
Hey, give me 1 second. Anybody that has popped on and haven't signed in on the chat, go ahead and put your name and chapter in on the chat.
Tanya, can I also ask, is there a way for you to send me all the people that asked for that spreadsheet to be, can you somehow make sure I get all the email addresses?
Yes,
Sue, why don't you just send it out to all the chapters?
Well, some of them asked for it to be personal, so I just want to make sure I don't miss any personal emails.
Okay.
Yep, I can do that.
Thank you, Tanya.
Yep.
I'm on via phone, not via the Zoom, so I can't put information in the chat. Am I able to get a copy also?
Sure. Who's this?
Tammy Marotta, Marotta.
Did you get that, Sue?
And I'm with Duluth.
You're with Duluth?
Duluth?
And Duluth, yes.
Okay. Otherwise, you can get it from Shar. Shar has it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But we can sure get it to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're jumping now? Okay.
It's all you, Andrea.
Okay. So we don't have any slides or anything rigid. We were really just trying to provide an open forum for people to ask for help with ideas for socials, or people to share things that have went well for membership and recruiting. So it's called membership sharing because we're asking you to share with each other. We find a lot of success when people do that when we're in our roundtables or at lots. We find most people like that part of it most in the feedback forms. So we figured we would try that for this section of the webinar. So if you have something you want to share, you can either speak up, or there's the raise your hand in this one. comment in the
Andrea-
chat that you would like to
Andrea,
see.
did you make your first goal?
I did make my first goal.
So I think you should brag a little first.
Oh. So my very first goal for membership MVP was to draw on a blank. Have 17 new members by President Shirley's birthday on June 17th. And it's absolutely amazing because we didn't just get 17 new members, we had 21 new members by the 17th. So just blown away by everybody adding new members. The people reaching out to me, I've had multiple MVPs or chapter presidents or a contact from the chapter reach out and having discussions with. I'm trying to be available whenever I can to talk to people to help them with their growth plans. And I think it's absolutely amazing that you guys blew that out of the water. I am halfway to my first goal for first trimester, actually. For like by the end of the trimester goal of new member ads, we are halfway there. So that's pretty exciting. And we're only in the first, we're at the end of the second month. We're only halfway through the first try. So you guys are killing it, in my opinion. The other thing I want to share is, and I'll put it in the chat too, I am asking because I'm wanting to share your guys' events. So many amazing events are done by you guys and you're posting on Facebook, and I've had to sit and just start at the front of the alphabet and type in like Albany and Avon and go through to search your Facebook pages to find your events and stuff like that. I'd like to share them on the membership Facebook page. So if you could put the hashtag MNWT membership when you share your event, just another line, put that on there. And I'm putting it in the chat so you can see it. I can search that and find your events more easily. Otherwise, I'll just keep stalking your pages. I think right now the first one I shared was Anoka had a walking club for their membership. And I think that's a great idea. It's something easy. It's a low cost thing. You just show up and walk. So I also want to, with the low cost item there, I want to remind people that you don't have to put a lot of money into having membership events. It's really just about building the camaraderie so your chapter is stronger and you guys can operate more efficiently. Your chapter gets along and you guys have good camaraderie and a working relationship, you're going to be more successful. So I'm here to foster that side of your chapter's experience. So, is there anybody that has an event they would like to share that they've done recently? Everybody's shy.
Monticello, we had a impromptu coffee social. We met at a locally owned coffee brewery or house or whatever, and it's called Spooky Brewing. And it was really hot, so it was only two of us, but we bonded. That was on Saturday.
Okay, perfect. I think I actually read that, or somebody else did the exact same thing. So that is great then, that's working. Does somebody have something fun planned? I feel like I read that there's a chapter going on a pontoon ride.
I think that's Litchfield.
Litchfield is doing the pontoon ride?
Okay. Yep, Jen's on here. Isn't it Wednesday? I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're muted, Jen.
She's still muted.
She's still muted. We can't hear you. Oop.
In St. James, we have we're doing a Founders Day like grill out / board meeting at one of our members' houses coming up on the 1st.
Is anybody else doing anything for Founders Day?
Duluth has its annual picnic going on, actually on the 2nd, because that's our meeting night.
What chapter was that?
We'll have a new member. Duluth.
Duluth.
And I was going to tell you about the mini golf and ice cream social that we had last week on the 19th. And I'm thinking that between the two of these, we have probably one new member out of it. We sure had fun last week. It was just a blast.
Do you guys post about that, Shar, on your page?
We try to. I think this one probably will get posted a week late.
Okay, no, that's totally
because we're
fine.
too busy right now.
You guys do have a lot going on.
Brooklyn Park is going to join New Hope on Founder's Day at the Golden Valley Girls softball game. New Hope is sponsoring a team, and Brooklyn Park is going to join in with the New Hope chapter and supporting the team during the game, and then we're having ice cream afterwards.
Awesome.
St. Cloud is going for a walk in our flower gardens and for ice cream afterwards.
I love that there's
and a
so much
member
ice
at our
cream.
last meeting.
Sorry, what was the last part, Cindy? I cut you off.
They signed a member at the last meeting.
Awesome.
STMA has a Christmas in July party planned on the 31st. Everyone's welcome. And
What are
we
you guys doing for that exactly?
Well, bringing a white elephant gift, playing some kind of game with that, like a dice game, I think. And there's going to be other games and stuff there. Yesterday, we just did a chick flick. There's a chick flick at the last Monday of the month, every month. We get together for appetizers, and some go to the movies, some don't.
That's cool. I like that you have a set date and people can come as they can. That
Yeah.
sounds with the Anoka Walking Club looks like that. It's X amount of days. So if you can be there, you can be there. If you can't, you can't.
Yeah, we had that at the same time last night. The walking club at 6 in St. Michael. We got so much going on.
I think it's
So
eight. I think
Aiken is
Oh,
going
yeah.
to get together at JoJo's house and do a swim barbecue potluck on July 1st for Founder's Day.
Fun.
Marie,
That's
doesn't
fun.
Aiken get together like the third Tuesday every month too for bingo or something?
They're at bingo tonight. That
Oh,
was
tonight.
why there isn't as many members that usually are on here because it was a conflict, timing conflict.
Oh,
But they
okay.
can look at the recordings. You know, it's
Yep.
great that the webinar is recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
People
have a lot of
taking
fun there. You
notes.
should come, Shirley, if you're in Aiken.
I know they invited me, but I'm not there.
I understand why. Right.
Maybe next month.
Okay.
Right. Are people taking notes of things people are saying? I've taken a handful of notes and I can share it out too. Just I feel like a lot of people always ask for ideas. They don't know what to do. They're kind of stuck. So that's where we really wanted to hear what people were doing so we could share that out.
Anoka is getting together tomorrow for music, Rocking on the Rum. Every Wednesday they have live music in downtown.
Is the rum like the street or the venue, or are we all drinking rum?
No, the Rum River runs through Anoka.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
I like the way you think, Andrea.
You can understand why everybody's rocking if we're having a lot of rum.
I would love to have the list or that compiled list of events and activities.
Okay.
And then I just also
will-
want to add that I really like the idea of having a regular set date and time. And then whatever event you do, I don't know how much you described of that, but I just really like that structure of regular planning. Just seems like it's easier to jump in and set something up if there's an already existing plan.
You wouldn't
I
necessarily
should
have to do
probably
the
give my
same
name.
thing.
This is Stacy Hollerman from St. Joe.
Okay.
I have one more thing from STMA that we've done in the past year. Our membership VP uses her money to pay for a free membership. And so each event, that's the prize instead of a gift basket or anything. And they've joined us and they've stayed on too. So it's not just a fluke where they join us and then they leave. So that's been working for us in the last couple of years.
Never thought of doing a membership fee for like a trimester Lucky Buck or a district Lucky Buck. That's a good idea. I think people would like that.
Monticello has a couple of things scheduled, if you want to know.
Yeah.
There's a social on August 6th at a local restaurant, and we're going to have a purse scavenger hunt. So we're asking people to bring a big purse-like object. We fill it with things, and we're going to see we're going to make a list and see who can match that list the best.
Okay.
So it's just a silly thing.
Yeah,
And
no.
then on Wednesday, August 27th, we're going to have an M event for Bunko and call it Get Mugged. And we're going to have people get a mug that's gently used or new, fill it with some goodies, and then that'll be the prizes.
I love that idea. Get mugged. I love it.
I also like the idea of getting rid of a mug. I mean, you're probably going to get one, but you probably have a mug that you're willing to like put a few things in and give away.
Right.
Totally.
My feelings are hurt.
It'll be your mug. Ha ha.
I would
All the
never give
membership
away your mug,
incentives.
Shirley.
It's okay. It's okay. I just had to say that. So Hutchinson, when we were struggling and we were barely, well, we almost went on TLC and we almost closed. We actually did a couple of membership activities and offered half price membership, and we paid the other half, which may or may not have been a good or bad idea. I don't really know. But it did get us and turned around. And so now, because of all the new members, we are kind of focusing more on trying to get to know each other. And so they went to Milner. I haven't been able to participate, but they went to Milner's Winery. There was a ladies' night out, and they played two truths and a lie. I guess it was hilarious. This past weekend, they were at the Crow River Winery. I guess there's anyway, and they did. It was I think it was the sipping goats or something. I don't know. Last night we did music in the park, and
I saw that.
Yeah, and we actually served. It was kind of a fundraiser for domestic violence, but because there was so many of us there, it turned out to be more of a social thing. So we've been really focusing on trying to do fun things and getting to just to get to know each other versus, yeah. Anyway,
That's the activation part of membership. So when we talk about ROAR recruiting, so that's the new members, and yeah, we want new members, but I think we also have to remember that you have to invest in the members that you have. So I'm happy to hear about all the socials that are going on, because there's stuff for your members. It's for you to build camaraderie. It's for you to find support in the women that you're doing this work with as well. So pretty excited about everything people have been saying. And then do you guys do any orientation at any of your like members things? Like there's a handful of 10-minute orientations on the member resources. Has anybody used any of those?
We have not, but we are hoping that we can start using them and adding them into our meetings.
I have asked our president at Monticello if, as membership vice president, that I can do a short little orientation for our whole membership every general meeting, and I hope to incorporate some of those mini orientations that I have heard about. And last week I talked about, I forgot what I talked about. But anyways, just little tidbits that I find out from being on membership for a long time and sharing them with our general members and why they're important.
So Gloria said she wants to add that to the orientate or to her meetings. Are there people that hold like a social time with their meeting currently? Or do you always just have your meeting and you do social stuff outside of the meeting?
Well, we have a half-hour social before each meeting, so we can get our chatting and maybe some planning done before, with whoever is there at 6:30, and then our meeting starts at 7. Is that what you mean?
Yep. Rosa does the same. Our social is a half hour before, and we actually voted at the last meeting because we found some people were just trying to get to the meeting that we're going to hold our meeting at 6:30, and then whenever we're done, people can stay as long as they want for the social afterwards. Then it's more of a easier thing. You're already there and you're staying instead of trying to get there on time.
I think the reason we started it beforehand too is because, our meetings got kind of long there for a while, and we were chatting about committee work and chatting about this and that, and, getting new visitors settled and things during our meeting. And it just kind of helped us get that chatting and things out before our meeting. So we were more ready. So that's why we did it that way.
Okay.
So that is one of the things that we've been trying to promote is rather than just going to a meeting and listening to, and doing reports, to do something fun. So in Hutchinson, we do a half an hour random act of kindness or a little project before. And now I think Janet's going to switch it up a little bit and do that every other month and do have a speaker or something too. But the chapters that are changing things up a little bit and making their meetings a little more fun versus just meeting are having good results.
So Blooming Prairie in June.
Sorry, I forgot that I was still on voice. I apologize.
You're good.
Anyway, so we did a random act of kindness and a social before the meeting, and we are going to do another one. So June's we did for our fire department in Blooming and Hayfield. We put a little snack bag with some candy and a little saying what it meant. And then in July's we're going to do a social again because our new member that joined is on here tonight, and we're going to do a social and make some pillowcases for Ronald McDonald House for kids.
Are you like bringing in sewing machines and doing that?
Nope. We're gonna markers, stencils, whatever. We're gonna just draw and make some things on them.
Oh, okay. So they're already made pillowcases and you're kind of decorating.
Yep, we're plain. Yep, we're just plain ones. I'm gonna decorate them.
Perfect. That's what I was wondering. I was like, cool, someone's doing a sewing event? I love sewing.
Oh, no. I don't sew, so no way, Jose.
Okay. And then, let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, are you guys are you doing things to recognize your members within your chapters? It might not be something you do every meeting. It might be once a trimester. It could be something that you do at a social event, or something like that. But when I talk about investing in the members that you have and retaining them and supporting them, I think recognizing them. So are there people on here that do stuff in their chapters to spotlight members at all? Or do you just wait for a convention and do awards?
In Duluth, we're doing a member of the month, and we also do a membership person of the month too. So
what's the difference between the two?
Well, the membership person is usually we pick someone that's done, like they've helped with like committees or like actually chaired an event. And then the member of the month is picked by the president.
Okay.
He kind of has different criteria for that.
Okay. Cool. Anybody else have ways that they recognize people?
So
In-
in Aiken, we also do the president pick of the month, and I have a lot of fun doing that, and I think it goes over well.
Sue?
In Fairmont, we recognize our members at every 5 years. So then they get a local, I think it's $25 gift certificate to spend in Fairmont. So every 5, 10, we're honoring members for their membership commitment.
Last year, this is STMA, but last year our president gave out cards, and every month her theme was Bloom, and I can't remember the other one. Something Bloom and Abby, Johan, you could help me out.
Bloom and inspire.
Yes.
So Bloom was someone that stepped out of their shell and did something that month. Inspire was more of a long-term thing where they did something, but it's something that they've done, and they've been a long-time member, basically. So those are fun because I wrote a little personalized thing for them.
I like the idea of recognizing both, because sometimes when you're looking for people that are growing, if you have a member that's been there for 20 years, they've been multiple positions, they might not, they've already stepped out of their like comfort zone to just do this year, and that year they did that. So I like the idea of recognizing a long-term member. That's cool.
And also, this is just something I do personally. I did this when I was president too. I bought some cards or postcards because they're cheap to mail, and they're blank. So I decorate them based on how they might see themselves or how I might see them, with a bunch of stickers and stuff. And then I write a little message on the other side. Like if they haven't been in a meeting in a while, I'll be like, hey, I've been missing you. Remember that time? Blah, blah, blah. And so I'll send those out. I sent those out a couple of months ago. And then, I don't tell them that I'm sending. I don't tell anybody that I'm sending them out. And I get a lot of like, the quiet, thank you for the card. Because they don't want to,
draw attention to themselves.
Well, yeah. So they think it's special to them. They don't know that I sent it to everybody. They think I sent it just to them. And that makes me feel like, hey, yeah, because I was thinking about you specifically. So I let them think that, because it makes them feel like they were.
And it does.
Special.
You're not making them just think that you are sending them one. So
yeah,
like that too. Oh, and then everybody that's added a new member, I've emailed your chapter just congratulating you, but also sharing that new chapter member orientation. How many people have used that or plan to use it or would like help with that? The PowerPoint.
I would like to use it.
Is anybody on here, did they join when we went over that? It would have been the third trimester webinar. We went through that, or not the webinar, the membership meeting. We went over it because I led that one, and I've been a member not a ton of years, but a few, and I actually learned like 2 things leading that. I was told slides, you can just go through it and read it and it'll be fine. You don't need to prep anything for it. But as I was reading it, I was like, I didn't even know that. So I really suggest that you go look through it, even if you have been a member for a few years, because you might find something you didn't know, but you also may have been part of the people that made it. So it won't be that shocking to you.
For Duluth, I'm actually working on it right now to kind of make it
personalize it,
make it fit for our chapter.
Awesome. And then anybody else for that orientation? Healer. All right. So then
I'm sorry, Andrea. When I was membership, I used some kind of slide generated membership. I don't know if it was yours or the one that you generated or if it was an older one.
I am using the one that's on the website that was created by people, not me. It's good material. It was just created like last year, Shirley, was it? So that's the one on the website, and that's underneath membership resources page. And that's also where the mini orientations are as well.
Nope, didn't use that one.
Okay. So while we're talking about it, July 8th is our membership orientation Zoom. So put that on your calendar. It'll also be sent out in emails, I think, right, Tanya? Or do they have to register for that one?
I think I sent the Zoom to you and then you send it out, I think, unless you want me to send it to all chapters or whatever. You just have to let me.
Send it to me. I'll get it out there. And then it'll also be on the Facebook page as a reminder. And that one's at 6 o'clock, right?
I don't know.
I'm like panicking to find my page right now. Here. Come on. Load internet. Look at me promoting it in my CIP with no start time. That's really helpful for you guys, isn't it? Tanya will verify that quick. But I think it's 6 o'clock because that's when all the webinars, we did it at the same time.
I think it's 6 too. I'm just looking.
So yeah, from there, then anybody on here that is membership still, I know they mentioned for the programming to check out CIPs and the Facebook pages. You should also be looking for the membership Facebook page, which is just MNWT membership. That's where we welcome new members. I have a spreadsheet for people when they come in so that nobody gets missed. But if you, for some reason, feel like someone was missed, please don't hesitate to reach out. We try to do the welcomes on there. And then we're also posting, we have Membership Monday, where I just want to share something going on in membership. Why Wednesday? I want to try to explain some of the why behind the things that we do. Last week, I said, why do we have webinars? And it's to have a focused training and a discussion piece for people to join that we're all across the state. Sometimes people drive 3 or 4 hours to get to things. So that means they can't always attend everything. So it's another opportunity for someone who can't always travel to attend and get in on the conversation. And then Fun Fact Fridays is what I have. Those are my 3 days. I also have on the membership team, we have Glory from Monticello. She's on here. And then Connie Fink from Monticello as well. I didn't realize that. You guys are both from the same chapter. But Connie is your chapter management vice president, and she'll be posting on Tuesdays, just kind of talking about support within the chapter, trying to share some insight on the 5 healthy traits, or to help with struggling chapters, or even chapters that are operating good, to like do a reassessment of what's going on and why you have such great success to keep it going. We see so many chapters ebb and flow, up and down. I mean, Shirley even talked about the Hutchinson chapter. They were ready to be on TLC Unfold and they had to make a change. So we'd like to level that roller coaster ride out to make it a little bit more boring instead of having a high and a low and a high and a low. So that's Connie's kind of focus, is to support your chapter being healthy. And then Gloria is on the extensions team. So she leads the extensions team, but she's looking for new chapters in Minnesota, and she's been very vocal at getting information out as far as trying to get leads. And she shared it, but I want to reshare it. We really want to focus on extending as a team and not having like one person or herself doing all the work. So if you have an idea, please mention it to us. You won't be hoodwinked into like leading that whole entire thing. You will have a support system and you will have people helping you with on that. So I think that And then my last item is the early bird renewals. So it's really, really important to get your early birds in. I say this because it makes paperwork so much easier doing it on the 15th of that month versus doing it the last day of the trimester. It's finite that last day, like we can't change it after. Once it becomes the first of the next month, it's too bad, so sad. You now have a fee. If you drop somebody that changed their, like we can't change that. It rolls over into the next trimester then. And some people get kind of excited because it can affect their retention or they get a late fee or something like that. So if you really just shoot for the early bird and get your information in, you're going to be way ahead of that. You're not going to have to worry about that mess. And it makes doing paperwork for staff a lot easier. Tanya can say yes to that. She's smiling and nodding. Yes. So that's why we kind of push early birds and really promote it and try to get people to do that. It really makes our paperwork a lot easier for us. And if you need help talking to members, if you have members that you haven't spoken to for a while or they're inactive and you're trying to figure out how to activate them, please reach out to someone on the membership team, reach out to President Shirley, reach out to the chairman of the board, anybody on staff. You can ask for help. You don't have to ask me. But I think I'm pretty nice. I think you could ask me. I'm not gonna be too mean. So yeah, that's all I have for that. And then membership week is the 16th through the 22nd. It's purposely not a Sunday to a Saturday. It's purposely a Wednesday to a Tuesday, so you can have a full weekend in your membership week. That isn't a mistake. It was done intentionally.
That Zoom is at 7.
7 people. Okay. The Zoom is at 7. I'm gonna make sure I blast that because I did not I didn't put it in my CIP.
There's an event set up 240, Andrea.
Okay.
On the Minnesota Women of Today page.
Oh. Sharon said the email says chapter president Zoom at 7. Which email is that, Sharon?
That's at 7 on Thursday.
Yeah, that's the one that's at 7 o'clock on Thursday.
Okay, mine's next month. Sorry. And then an idea for night ice cream flights. Cindy, do you want to speak on that more, or does somebody know what that is specifically? I like ice cream flights. I'd be there for that.
Night ice cream place. That sounds good, whatever it is.
I don't. I just like ice cream. You got me
So do
sold
I.
in.
So do I.
I like ice cream more than I like chocolate.
Oh. And I love gelato.
You have to have a gelato night in Hutchinson.
We don't have any gelato here.
That was all I had for this. It was just to be a spot for you guys to speak up and ask questions or share what's working for you.
So let me talk a little bit about marketing. So is anybody having any, does everybody have a logo, or are you trying to find a logo or trying to create a new logo, or how are you marketing yourself? Are you using Facebook? Do you have a brochure? Or how about this? Is there anybody who's interested in one of those Women of Today tablecloths that we did a few years ago? If we brought those back.
We are Monticello.
Okay.
Interesting. What, Shirley? I didn't hear you.
So a few years ago, I think it was Illy actually did those blue tablecloths with the Minnesota Women of Today on them.
Oh, yeah.
It was brought up that maybe we should bring those back again. So I'm just curious if there's any interest.
We have one. We use it in St. Joe.
Yeah, we use ours all the time too. I saw Jen said Litchfield was interested. Glory said Monticello would be interested in another one. So Maggie will probably be putting something out in regards to that. But
well, we have chapter brochures and we also have business cards that says a QR code on it.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and then Facebook.
Sure. Okay. Is there any, on behalf of the staff, I just want to say that we are all here for you. If you need some one-on-one conversations, like with if the state delegate needs to talk to the AVP, or membership needs some help from Andrew. I mean, we're all here to help you. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We've been doing one-on-ones with some of the chapters, some of the newer chapters, to help them. But just know that we are here to support you and to help you in any way that we can. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about or ask a question or bring up? Or there's a few of us. This is such a quiet group tonight.
It is.
So, from St. Joe, something that has just been popping up in conversation is how we're using media.
Okay.
Versus print. And so I'm just wondering, what are people seeing more effective, print forms of advertisement or social media?
So in the last year or so, Michelle can speak to this too. We've been trying to get chapters, or not get chapters, but encourage chapters to promote their event, create an event for your chapter meeting, an event for whatever it is you're doing, and then tell what you're doing. And then once that event or that activity is over, then post pictures that you're having fun. And that's working for some of the chapters. They've gotten new members that way. There are other chapters. In our chapter, for example, we have a craft show, and we do a sign up sheet and ask people if they're interested in getting our newsletter. So we have a group of people that we send our newsletter out to. Sometimes they read them for a year or look at them or delete them or whatever they do, but then they come. We got a couple of new members that received them for a couple of years, and then they decided that this is something I want to be involved with. So I don't know if that answers your question. What do other chapters do? Anybody else want to?
I really think it kind of depends on your situation, because it just depends on what events are you going to. You can market there, you can pass out print, you could do your social media to promote your events or promote your membership events. It just kind of depends on how the community responds to you and to your area.
Yeah. I've noticed too that a lot of chapters that do have a specific logo and they use that on everything really helps the community know when they see that logo that's them.
So if anybody needs help with a logo, we can help with that. I know Shirley mentioned that, but giving an identity to your group, other than maybe a couple people's faces that have been in the chapter a long time, that are always seen at your public events. Some people I know in the Warroad area, before we had a good logo, when I was over in that chapter, a lot of people just thought I did everything. And I was like, no, we have a chapter of 25 people. You can talk to someone else. So I think it's really important to have some identifying thing so that one person isn't getting always identified as, oh, that's the Women of Today person. Not that it's a horrible identity, it's just that everybody thinks you do everything, and there's no chapter where one person does everything. So
one of the things that's Terry Earl from Maple Grove. One of the things our group does is you've probably seen us in our bright green shirts when we go to convention and stuff, and then we have a logo. So whenever we do an activity in the community, we wear our shirts, and they are kind of bright and stand out.
They look nice though, and we know it's you.
Yeah. So that we also have the brochures and business cards too,
cool.
that are in green, and then we put the logo on that as well. So like you said, then you're identifiable,
right?
To the community. One of our ambassadors, who was, came to visit us one time, they go, and this is a group, they all go in packs. They're like pack animals. Because we're different people each time, but it's like recognizable by the color. and
Sure.
and the shirts.
I think that's great. Like Michelle said last year, don't be the best kept secret in your town. Let them know who you are.
Yep, exactly. I know a couple chapters have not stolen, but have used Blooming Prairie's brochure. Well, what we liked about it was we had a separate membership form and then we had our brochure, but they have a column in their brochure to sign up for the membership or with the membership thing, which was really sweet. So Stacy, I don't know if that helps you at all or answers your question.
With marketing ideas, I think the challenge that I'm seeing in our group is either the community or the paper we've been using itself seems to be diminishing their circulation.
Okay.
And so I'm just relying a lot on that paper for advertisement, and I see that progressively declining because they are declining.
Stacey,
Okay.
what's your chapter again?
St. Joe.
St. Joe, okay.
One other comment on that Facebook deal is that people aren't going out looking for Blooming Prairie women of today because they don't know it exists. So when you're making those posts, share them to your community sites. Like in Hutchinson, for example, we have Real Life in Hutchinson, I don't know, City Garage Sale, I don't know, whatever they all are. But so we share our event to all of those places so that people see it. We're also part of the chamber and that helps as well. But you have to kind of, like Litchfield, for example, when Deb and I tried to start a new chapter, we actually went with Dasco Cato. We started a Dasco Cato Facebook page and we shared a meet and greet to every place we could find in Meeker County, because that's the county that they're in. And then we ended up with a chapter in Litchfield, which we're so excited about. But if we would have just put this Dasco Cato thing out there, nobody would have even have found it because they didn't know what Women of Today is, or that Facebook page was out there. So that's just an example. So anybody have anything else? Or Michelle, how about you? Meg's not on here, so you got anything?
I think you've hit on all of my things. I think, we try too, as you are, like we did some work with Bundles of Love. So then when our chapter posted about what we did, we tagged them in it because now we're also hitting their base, right? It's not just the people who see us, it's the people who are connected to them. 360 communities, whoever you're partnering with, or if you're getting together to eat out at a restaurant, put that you're there, right? When you are there, tag them in your post because you will then be seen with their feed. So you're touching people that you maybe wouldn't have been able to touch or they wouldn't have seen you otherwise.
Because they like the organization that you're partnering with.
Yeah.
And I did a lot last year with whenever we gathered as a whole, I like to document it throughout the entire time we were together so everyone could share and be a part of that and see what we were doing. And we do that in our chapter meetings as well. Everybody gathering in the beginning, then we'll share what we, any awards we gave out, anything that we did. We try and do a group picture at the end. Doesn't always work out that way, but we try really hard to. And we use even our chapter meeting as a place to share on our social media.
Yeah. So, and then I know some of the other things, you can invite all your members to your event. And then if they say they're interested, then everybody who's friends with them sees that. And it just goes out. It just makes ripples.
Casting that net, creating those ripples.
I had to throw that in, sorry. Anybody else have any comments or any other thoughts or things that their chapters are doing that might help somebody else? Or this is such a quiet group tonight. Go ahead, Francis.
Okay, I don't know exactly how to explain this, so bear with me.
Okay.
But how do you, this is technical, so it may
dear.
not be, oh, I don't know. Anyways, when you have a Facebook page or whatever, I see I'm still an admin on Facebook and I have nothing to do with Facebook at all in our chapter. But I see likes that people like us. How can we generate those likes into talking to them?
Oh, you mean like how can you interact with people liking your stuff, or
Yeah.
are you talking about getting like a spreadsheet with all your likes? Because
Just
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, how can we talk to these people?
I think the only way would be clicking on their name and the like thing and messaging them potentially.
Okay. I'll look at it again and try to see if I can come up with a better explanation of this phenomena.
Logically, if someone likes your page, shouldn't you be able to message them back to say thanks for liking it?
I think so, yeah.
Logically, yes, if I'm explaining it right, but I may not be explaining it right.
Right. If you know where you see the likes and there'll be little hearts and there'll be all those things that are up at the top.
Yeah.
On Facebook, if you click on it, it'll list everybody that liked it.
Right.
And that's where you can get to like messaging them. Does that help?
Right. But I see it from the admin side where it's really, I don't know. Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out.
I think that everybody was giving you good stuff though, Francis. You need to try with everybody. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much for that. I think I'm just still confused in my description of what I'm talking about. So it's me, not you.
I think you got it. I think you're good.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? Well, then I just say we all go out and create positive ripples.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for hanging on.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, Tanya.
Yep, I'm going to stop recording here in 1 second.